What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you a video I haven't done in a long time, and that would be a One Piece theory video. And this one is going to be on the man marked by flames. Now, a lot of people assumed it could have been Saul. It could still be Saul, except the fact that, he was, scarred up by ice. But I'm thinking it might actually be Xebec. And the reason why I'm thinking it's going to be Xebec is mainly because the fact that we found out that his actual name is Rox D. Jones and not Xebec, right? Much like Goldie Roger, the world government changed his name except for him, his family deliberately hid their name. And I'm thinking the reason why they did that is because maybe their family are guardians or protectors of the last road poneglyph, right? And I'm thinking that because of the fact that Rox, from the initial time that they actually showed him in God Valley, dude was instantly in Imu's chambers with Imu and acted as if he was aware of Imu, right? So I'm thinking because of who they were, the Joneses, their family had knowledge, histories that were saved, right? And more likely passed on. For all we know, he can actually even read the poneglyphs, like actually read them. There's only like a few people who are known to be able to have the ability and or just are able to. One was Odin, the other one is Robin, and then you have Pudding, who can unlock like the third eye thing, right? Well, what if also the reason why I'm thinking, Xebec or Jones, Rox, might be the man marked by flames is strictly because what if Kuma, while on the island, because Kuma tried to save everybody on the island, despite who they were, whether Marine, civilian, whatever, right? He tried to save everybody who needed saving. What if he came across Xebec half dead, because he was injured and everything before his fight with Roger and, Garp when he got Domi reversed, right? So, and we now seen that, you go back to your previous form or your previous state after. So whatever damage you get during that Domi Reversi is null and void on your real body, right? So I'm thinking, what if, because of his fight with Imu before he got turned, are the wounds that he has, right? Because he got stabbed through the gut and, a few other areas. So, gravely injured. So what if he went to either, like Kuma sent him, because Kuma has the availability to send people where either they want to go or where he wants to send them, right? So what if Xebec was thinking about, like, his family's home, such as, Lelucia Island before it was destroyed, so he got sent there, or maybe he got sent to where the last road poneglyph is, and that's where he's been hiding at. And for all we know, I should say, is that could be on Elbath. Or he was just sent to Elbath. Because you see a figure who we have no idea. Some people might have thought it might have been Scopper, but I'm not thinking it was Scopper now. Right? I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, it's Xebec. And he's been hiding on that island, and he became very highly aware that the whole guardsmen and everything, such as Shanks' brother and all those others, coming to the island. Maybe he felt it, or maybe he had some kind of like future sight, kind of like Shanks, or better, considering he's been around a lot longer than he. Like, if Roger could have gotten to that age and was like not ill, what kind of monster Roger could have gotten into, right? And Xebec himself was already pretty strong on his own before got like Domi reversed. So I can literally see that being the massive big case, right? Because the fact he knew about Imu, the fact that like we find out that his true last name is Jones, and Davy Jones was, well, for what we can see, was an actual real individual and was a D, right? And I'm also kind of thinking where the Will of D comes from, and all the people who have that initial are the people who kind of existed or are descendants of dreamers. such as the people who kind of maybe created the devil fruits, or just in general keeping dreams alive, no matter what dream it is, whether it's Pirate King or becoming the Emperor of the Seas, or, you know, finding the world's knowledge, whatever it may be, right? Every single one of these individuals has a crazy dream, and they don't care whether they, you know, succeed or not. It's just the journey of getting there, right? So I'm thinking the will of D is just the will of a dreamer, or the will of dreams, which also coincides with the poneglyphs. Considering what if those people who, you know, spread them all over the world also had that will? You know, the will for people to be free from tyrannical control of Emu and just be free to be whatever they want. Which is another thing I'm thinking Luffy's dream is. Allowing the whole world, everybody in the world, to be free to be what they want to be. Whether it's a pirate, a marine, a shopkeeper, a mom, a dad, a like evil pirate, whatever, right? True freedom. Now, the man marked by flames could be a multitude of different people, right? It could be someone else other than Zebek. Shoot, it could be Shanks, right? For all we know, man marked by flames, but doubtful he has no scars that we have seen. That would be a flame scar, other than, you know, the one that he got from Blackbeard. Now, granted, at the same time, what if it's like the flames of revolution? So dragon. Also, man marked by flame could be dragon, for all we know. Now, granted, that's a massive like what if. I would more believe that it would be like Zebek, or like a surviving member of his crew, but I'm still thinking Zebek. Just mainly from the fact that he was still alive after he got changed back, and with the fact that Kuma was on that island the same time during that fight, I can just imagine that he just came across a half-dead version of that guy and just boop, paw fruit, sent that dude off somewhere to like a random island. And that could be one of three places, like I said, either Elbath, which is where he's been like recuperating and just like kind of in hiding, considering he found out he's dead, Lulusia Island, and then healed up, left Lulusia to go to Elbath to try to save Harold, or to the actual location where the road poneglyph could be, and that can literally be almost anywhere. It could be on Elbath, it could be on a random island somewhere, like no one really knows. Now, I can't wait for the twist, because with the manga going as far as it's going, and getting good as it is, it's just like you learn one new thing after a new thing after a new thing. It's like, oh my god. Which is where another reason why I came up with the whole thought of maybe the will of D is something as simple as the will of dreamers, right? Passing on the dreams to the next generation, you know, the dreams of freedom, the dreams of peace, the dreams of like becoming a good king or a tyrannical king, whatever it may be, the dreams, they have people to pass it on to, which is where it's like, I can see that, especially with a lot of the wording that goes on in the manga, and with every single one of these people who have the initial D, whether it be Zebek, Teach, Luffy, Ace, you know, like even Vivi. We found out Vivi is a D. So it just comes down to all these people have something in common. They all have a dream that they want to achieve, and they will do anything to get that dream to become reality. Dream becoming reality. And that's what kind of Egghead Island, you know, Vegapunk kind of hinted at, are what the devil fruits are dreams that were brought into reality by people willing them into existence. So what if, and like follow me along here, right? The hockey knot that Emmett used, right? What if someone with enough Conqueror's hockey and, you know, all that are able to just forcefully create something using their will? And let's say all these devil fruits were held by like strong individuals who willed their passing of their knowledge or their powers to the next generation, right? That could be a possibility, especially with the whole like Ratatoskr going into the hammer, like fusing to the hammer and becoming a shape-shifting ice squirrel that turns into Ragnar, the giant hammer that Loki wields. Like, everyone thought, oh, maybe it was, a squirrel that just ate the hammer fruit model Ragnir, right? That's what people thought. Nope. We saw actually that because of, the woes and the dreams and wishes of, the ice squirrel, he went into the hammer to protect the devil fruit of his fallen friend. So it's like, damn. That's fucking crazy. Now, also at the same time, by what we know of devil fruits is devil fruits generally will teleport to anywhere in the world to the nearest fruit that resembles their power or whatever, right? And it can go from one island to a whole different island or that exact same island, right? Like the lore of that has been proven, and it's been in an SBS, so it's like we know this. So could there have been like another fruit there, or what if before he died, Elbath, the war god, the same person that got named the island after, or the island got named after, what if he was the very first one and he became the devil fruit Nidhogg, right? What if? Now, that's a what if, and it's like a possibility, but also, but you never know with Oda. You really never know. But I truly believe at this point in time, the man marked by flames, at least currently, is going to end up being like Xebec, I'm thinking. Just with what we saw with Dory and Broggy cutting each other's heads off and then coming back and they were perfectly fine. It's like, what? So it's like, oh, Xebec might still be alive. And what kind of a twist would that be? And how awesome would that be if, Xebec is truly still alive? Like, dude wasn't, a good guy, but at the same time, he wasn't the villain that, the world government made him out to be, clearly. And clearly, the world government will lie on anyone who threatens their type of peace or justice that they have. They've done it with Luffy throughout the entire story, lying about what Luffy's done and who Luffy is. Every single time they say that, Luffy attacked islands, when in actuality, Luffy was protecting the islands and saving the people. In every single instance, every single time Luffy's bounty's gone up, it's always been because, oh, Luffy did this and attacked these people and did this. He's never been proclaimed as a hero, because one, he doesn't see himself as one, but at the same time, the world government doesn't want him to be seen as the light of hope, especially now with the fact that, we know he has the Nika fruit. Not just a gum fruit, but the Nika fruit. So, it's yeah, it's definitely now becoming more in-depth and more detailed, and it's kind of shedding some light on some, shadows that people were kind of curious on. And it's just going to get better. And I can't wait to see, who this is, because that person's on Elbath. They're clearly on Elbath, so it just comes down to who are they, and what part of Elbath are they on? Are we going to run into them, during all of this? Right? Let's say something's going on, something happens, and then he shows up and then kind of helps Luffy and the crew, mainly Luffy and Loki and probably Sanji and Zoro, right, fight against Gore, what's his name, damn it, I forgot his name, St. Charles, I think. No, not St. Charles. Oh god, the Thorn guy, I can't remember his name right now. But fight him and all the others, right? Beat them, defeat them, and everything, because we saw Sanji axe kick Killingham. That was awesome. We saw that Brook is off fighting his own battle, and Luffy punched the crap out of the Thorn dude. I'm blanking on his name right now. Dude's an ass. I don't like him. Great evil villain guy, great character base, but god, I hate that guy. But yeah, so I'm starting to think that something's gonna happen. Maybe Emu's gonna pull something out of his ass, and then kind of maybe Domi reverse Luffy and a few strong people. Xebec shows up, breaks it, and then shows them how to actually reverse it without any trouble, right? Possibly. That'd be cool as all hell. And or Luffy and the crew are going to beat the crap out of Emu and all his lackeys, and then just go about recuperating. They're gonna come across him maybe, or he's gonna come across them at some point and introduce himself as Rox D. Jones, or maybe even Xebec, And, one person, Loki, will actually recognize him and then realize, oh my god, the person I've been talking to has been Zebek the entire time. Or also, considering Loki and this guy have been talking for a long time, for years, what if they knew, but because the fact that Elbath is monitored by the world government and everything, because, giants, they either want them as allies or want to wipe them out. So they're going to keep somewhat of an eye on it in any way, shape, or form, especially just in case they're spies. Keep an eye out or ear out via transponders nil. So I'm also thinking maybe they kind of knew, or one of them knew, that if they mentioned Zebek still alive, they would actually show up a lot sooner. But they couldn't because they had to wait for someone to show up. And maybe that person was Nika. Or someone with the Nika fruit, such as Luffy. Maybe. But that's it for the little theory video, the man marked by flames. I'm probably going to do a shorter one, kind of just talking about what I think the will of D is, the will of dreamers, or the will of dreams, however you want to say it, but that's what I'm thinking it is. It could be like a couple minutes long, not even really all that long, but yep. That is my man marked by flames theory. Haven't done one of these in a long time. If y'all watch this, and actually watch the data end, well, thank you for, the view. You guys rock. Later.